In this lesson, I want to get across an important idea, which is the idea of doing a query to Google, which is to ask a question of Google, and then get all those results back, and then figure out how to focus, how to hone, how to zero in on just the kinds of results you want. This is the idea of filtering on your search results. We're going to do this in the case of searching for images. What I want to show you is the skill of filtering your image results by color. Usually what you do when you're using Google is you pose a query. That is, you ask it a question, you type in a few words. That's the query. We then do something to take those results and focus in on just the kind of subset of that results we really need and we really want. One thing we can do in image search is to filter by color. This is a great trick not a lot of people know about, and here's the way it works. You do a query, like say in this case, fossils, and then you can scroll down in the user interface. In the lower left corner, you see that little collection of color tabs. Let me zoom in a little bit, you'll see what I'm talking about. Those little paint chips are color selectors that allow you to select the kind of color results that you want to see, the kind of predisposition towards black or red or orange or whatever. Let me give you an example. So here we've done a search for fossils, and now I've clicked on the color chip for white. And what that does is it says, look, I want images that are primarily white or have a lot of white in the background. What this does is it lets you take your search results and filter by that color. One of the things you can do with this is filter not only by the color, but by the implied context. But let me show you a live example. If we're here in Google Images, I can do a search for something like, say, fossils. I type in my query, hit enter, and I get the default set of results. That is, in this case, all of the colors. Now if I scroll up, I'm going to scroll down, and I can see the paint chip selector here. If I select white, I now get the white filtered set of results. This is fantastic because now I can look for things that have, say, a gray background to them. For example, fossils that I know are embedded in gray rock. I can look at this result set and say, well, that's fine, but it's not dark enough, so I can select the black filter right here. And now I get fossils that are primarily embedded in a very dark context or have a black background. You see how this works. You can filter by context and by color. So what I mean by that is in a lot of cases, the background in which an image is embedded or the surrounding perimeter colors often imply a kind of context of use or a context in which you get additional information. Here the query is Tesla, and you can see there's a variety of results here when you get the all colors kind of results. So if we instead filter on, say, just the purple colors, we see a lot of beautiful electrical discharges. These are the coronas that are produced by the Tesla coil. If, on the other hand, we select the color filter for red, I'm going to get a lot of cars. You see what's happening. The color in this case carries along a kind of implied context. Case of electrical discharges or cars, or black and white often implies archival imagery. Let's go to the live demo here. I'm going to change my results here to be Tesla. And you can see here I've got the black filter on, so I'm going to turn that off. And I get the default result sets here, which are beautiful, but I want, in this case, black and white imagery. The context here is I want sort of the old photographs. This is a fast way to get to those. And you see here, it's exactly what I've got. What's nice about this is I can use these implied colors to get to the implied context. Let me show you another trick here. Another way of filtering is to use not only the colors, but also the visually similar kinds of results. So for example, let's look at, say, this photograph here. And if you notice in the lower left corner, there's this thing called similar. If I click now on the similar link, click, I get a lot of very similar photographs. Now in this case, they're all essentially identical. So if we go back and we choose, let's say one like this, which has Nikola Tesla in a cage with a lot of lightning, I'm going to click on the similar click button here, and I'll get a lot of related images, all black and white, all sort of very exciting with lightning and discharges that astound everybody. So you see what's happening. We're doing this, we're modifying the colors, We're looking in similar image space, and we can also do things like modifying the query, for example, adding the word Tesla coil. Let's go back to this and do that one more time. So I'm going to do now Tesla coil. I now have all these images, which are great. I want to go to black and white because now I want to filter on the implied context of, say, a diagram. Tesla coil is an artifact, it's a thing you can build. Okay? Now you see we've got all these great diagrams here, but maybe I just want to find all these schematic diagrams. Here I can use that same trick of clicking on similar to find similar diagrams, black and white, and they're all going to be about the same ideas. You see what's going on. We've got this immense capacity to filter by color, by style, look for visually similar kinds of imagery. What I want you to do now is go to Activity 1 and see if you can use some of these tricks to help solve those problems we're giving to you here. Give it a try.